World Spaceflight News Special Report.
And we just heard that call up, Falcon 9's in startup, which means the flight computer is taken over and is just preparing for its initial launch sequence.
And now both stages are pressurizing for launch. Next call out in just a couple of seconds.
Launch director, go for launch.
SpaceX launch director confirming go for launch. Range remains go, weather is go. This launch will mark the 101st mission of NASA's Launch Services Program based at Kennedy Space Center.
15 seconds.
Here we go.
10.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engine ignition and liftoff. Liftoff of SWOT, our first global survey of Earth's surface water to study how this ever-changing resource affects our climate.
And there we get a nice view from the ground camera, and also we switch to the onboard camera.
Now, Denton, you didn't go outside to see the launch, but now we're feeling it inside here in the Mission Director Center, the rumble all around us from launch.
Absolutely. And now you're getting a good look at the onboard camera looking down towards the aft end of the rockets, and you can see the Merlin engines coming to life there.
And this room coming to life, really. Lots of rumble going on in here. And we're soon going to hear that the rocket is supersonic, meaning it's going faster than the speed of sound, followed by Falcon 9 reaching what's called max Q, the moment of peak mechanic stress on the rocket.
Yeah. Look, we getting nice views.
Falcon 9 is supersonic.
Just heard a call out for supersonic. Getting a good shot of looking at the onboard cameras
Max
there.
Q.
We just stepped through max Q.
Next call-outs are going to come.
Engine chill.
MVAC engine chill, which means getting the second stage engine ready to start, and so which means we'll be coming up on stage separation shortly, followed by stage 2 ignition.
We see this beautiful shot of all of the Merlin engines, all 9 of them lit up.
That's what 1.7 million pounds of thrust look like.
Lots of thrust. So the next callouts are going to come in quick succession, so let me walk through them really quick. So at T plus 2 minutes and 15 seconds, we're going to have main engine cutoff. That's MECO, meaning the 9 Merlin engines on the first stage are going to shut down. And then a few seconds after that, stage 1 and 2 will separate. Stage 1 will do a flip and do a boost back burn to orient itself back towards Earth for that landing here at the Space Force base.
And there we get a good shot of looking at the interstage. Basically,
MECO.
the camera is looking up towards the second stage.
Separation confirmed.
And there you go.
Live video of stage 1 and 2 separating.
MVAC ignition.
And there's a good look at the
Stage
MVAC
1,
ignition coming,
startup.
the MVAC engine coming to life.
That's great. You are seeing the stage 1 booster do its flip. And now the engine bell of the MVAC engine lit up. This is a camera shot of stage 1 here, again on its way back to Earth. In just a couple of seconds, we're going to see the payload fairing jettison.
Fairing separation confirmed.
We just heard a call out for fairing separation, and there's a good onboard view of the SWOT spacecraft, and you can see the fairing is gone at this point in time.
Another camera shot here of the engine on the second stage continuing to carry SWOT to its intended target. We have a couple of camera views of this engine here, so you might see a couple of
Stage
different
1, boost back
angles.
shutdown.
Yeah, and then you'll see it cycling through the views of the stage 2 engine, and as we get closer to the separation, it'll go back towards the spacecraft.
And we just heard a call out for the boost back burn ending on stage
Both
1.
stages are on nominal trajectories.
And that call out was just to say both stage 1 and stage 2 doing what they were expecting them to do.
And we're hoping to get a video of stage 1 landing. So sometimes we don't always get it because of it's coming in so fast, and sometimes it's hard to capture it. So occasionally sometimes we don't get it all the way, but we're hoping to get a good video this time.
T plus 4 minutes and 10 seconds into the launch of SWOT, and we've had a nominal ascent so far, no issues to report. Again, this is a video of a live shot of the engine on stage 2. SWOT stands for Surface, Water, and Ocean Topography, and this will be the first mission to provide high-definition data on more than 90% of the water on our planet's surface. It's a joint mission between NASA and CNES, France's space agency, with contributions from both the Canadian and UK space agencies. SWOT is the 4th NASA LSP science mission to launch from Vandenberg Space Force Base, and the 6th LSP science mission overall to launch on a Falcon 9, Denton.
Yes, and we got a lot more missions coming up on the Falcon.
Yeah, to see the partnership really grow for you too. I mean, again, you really worked from SpaceX from the beginning.
Yeah, absolutely, and seeing their evolution over the years has been amazing to watch.
So coming up, we're going to see the booster begin its entry burn soon, and again, that entry burn is to slow it down as it approaches Earth for the landing here back at the base instead of a drone ship.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome to see it come back to land. As I mentioned before, seeing it landing right very close to where it took off from is awesome.
So then how does this work? So again, we're going to have the entry burn that slows it down, and then there's a landing burn, right?
Yeah, so you have the boost back burn that kind of gets it back towards the launch pad, and then the entry burn kind of slows it down as it's coming into the atmosphere, and then you have the landing burn that basically puts it down gently on the pad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, SpaceX has become real pros at landing their boosters.
Absolutely. And it's becoming routine for them at this point in time. And so this is just a normal course of business for them.
Again, we are looking live at stage 2.
Stage 1 entry burn.
And we just heard the call out for stage 1 entry burn. Means it's coming back into the Earth's atmosphere. And there we go. We got a good video of it.
Yeah, so you can see those hypersonic grid fins illuminated by the flame from the booster.
Stage 1 FTS is safe.
You see that the screen went black there. That's because they just shut down the engine.
That's correct.
Both stages are
As
on normal
planned.
trajectories.
But I was talking about those hypersonic grid fins that you see. Those help guide the Falcon 9 booster back down towards Earth. So now that we're done with the entry burn, the next burn is the landing burn. Mm-hmm. It's just one engine, right, just before it touches down.
Correctly. Just gently set it down on the pad.
The next milestone for the second stage is going to
Stage
be
1 is transonic.
SECO 1.
Yeah, and SECO 1 is the first shutdown of the second stage engine. And then for this mission, we're going to have 2 burns. So you'll
Stage
see
1 landing burn.
after stage 2 shuts down, it'll coast for a while. And then we got a good video of stage 1.
It's about to land. How exciting.
Coming in for its landing burn there.
Again, the grid fins moving ever so slightly to make sure that it's coming down exactly how they want it to come down.
Yep, and you could see the pad coming into view.
There it is.
Landing.
Wow, those sonic booms.
And then the sonic booms. Trademark sonic booms.
Wow.
And good touchdown of the stage 1
Touchdown. Booster. Perfect.
Stage 1 landing is confirmed.
So glad to see that live video. Again, sometimes we don't get it. That was amazing to see and feel, really.
Yes, see and feel, and we get to use this booster again.
Yeah. Again, this is the 6th flight of this booster.
That is right.
Okay. So we are still awaiting, again, that shutdown
Stage 2 FTS is safe.
of the second stage. Yes. And when it does shut down, it's going to be over the Pacific Ocean, just west of the southern tip of Baja California. Again, exactly where we want it to be, following that well-thought-out planned trajectory.
Yep, and the team is reporting back. Everything's looking nominal. Stage 2, it's right where it's supposed to be, and looking good.
MVAC shutdown.
And we should see MVAC shutdown coming up here shortly. And there we go.
Yep, SECO 1
Nominal parking orbit.
confirmed. That's the trajectory you're seeing. It's flying south from where it just launched, and it'll continue to fly south down towards Antarctica. And so again, everything going as expected so far. The second stage is now going to coast for about 30 minutes. You can see that it is shut down there from that view. And this is a view of the spacecraft. Again, because the payload fairing has been jettisoned, you see SWOT right there on your screen. Exposed now that we don't need the payload fairing to safely get it out of the atmosphere.
Yeah, correct. And once the whole purpose of the fairing is to protect it while the vehicle is flying through the atmosphere at supersonic speeds. And then once you get up out of the atmosphere, there's nothing to harm the spacecraft, so you can jettison that extra weight and give your vehicle a lot more performance once you get rid of that extra weight.
Yeah, we're about 51 minutes after launch, and now we are awaiting spacecraft separation. So SWOT, the spacecraft separating from Falcon 9's second stage.
Yes, and that'll occur as we get closer to the Hartebeest ground station. And now we see a good video there of the SWOT spacecraft looking up, and then there's another cycling through of the MVAC engine. So once we get to the point where we separation occur, hopefully we'll get a good video of that. And now there's a slight chance we may get acquisition of signal from the spacecraft at that point in time, but that's not the primary opportunity to get it.
Sure. So you see the telemetry data right there, stage 2, just at the tip of South Africa. You were mentioning a ground station there. It's because when the spacecraft separates from the Falcon 9 second stage, we want to make sure we know where it is, and we do that by using the ground station,
Correct.
right?
Yeah, and the ground station is what is capturing the video that you're seeing here, as well as the telemetry coming from the vehicle. So that's how the team down on the ground is able to see everything that's happening in the data and actually get the video as well.
So you see the SWOT spacecraft there. SWOT stands for Surface Water and Ocean Topography, and is a joint mission by NASA and CNES, France's space agency. They had contributions from both the Canadian and UK space agencies.
Yep, and once separation occurs...
SWOT payload, separation confirmed.
There you go.
And we got good video.
And we're hearing some cheering here at the Mission Directors Center at Vandenberg Space Force Base. I'm sure the spacecraft team for CNES is also cheering in their Mission Control Center. You see the spacecraft floating away right now from the second stage.
And at this point, the launch vehicle's job is done. So the second stage will just basically kind of back off, move away from the spacecraft, and kind of take itself out of orbit, just so we don't have any junk floating around after it's completed its mission.
Now, it's just so great to see all this live video. I'm still just watching it amazed, just to see it. And this is a moment that so many people have been waiting for,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. As we mentioned before, a lot of these people have been working this mission for 20 years.
Right.
And now we getting a good view of, you can kind of see the sun there, from the view of the second stage, looking at SWOT floating away, and you kind of see the sun coming into view there. It's an awesome sight to see.
Now, as a member of NASA's Launch Services Program, Danton, how does it feel to be part of a program that facilitates so much great science like SWOT?
I mean, it's always exciting to see that, we kind of play a role in helping enable a lot of the science that these spacecrafts provide for us, and that,
Pausing now for a little bit of chatter that we're hearing among the spacecraft team. Checking to see if they got that acquisition of signal, again with the ground station in Kiruna, Sweden. Yeah,
and you're getting a good look at the CNES station there in France.
SWOT, a joint mission between NASA and CNES, so we're listening into both teams, our NASA teams and also the CNES team. There you go. We are hearing the CNES team confirming to our NASA team that we have acquisition of signal with the SWOT spacecraft. That's fantastic news.
And the team has done their full analysis.
We're hearing cheering now.
And the spacecraft is doing well. So all the instruments are doing well.
There you go.
And you hear another round of clapping.